Hey kids, Evil-Linn here. And by the power of Grayskull, let's talk Alien Earth. Right, cards on the table. I'm a huge fan of the original Alien and Aliens films. I saw Scott's cathedral quiet horror, followed by Cameron's pulse rifle action sequel at far too young an age. Those films hardwired something in me. Corridors that sweat, systems that hum, grown adults who actually think, and a creature that's terrifying because it does not negotiate. So when Alien Earth started, I was buzzing. The tone felt right. Sterile labs, cold camera, that familiar industrial heartbeat. For a couple of episodes, I thought, we're back. They actually get it. And then it started talking when it should have listened, explaining when it should have shown, and unforgivably turning the alien monster into a Labrador. Let me start with praise, because there's plenty. The production design is on the money, proper tactile sci-fi, metal with memory, glass that's too clean, an island facility that looks like a billionaire's tax dodge and the world's last operating theatre. When the show shuts up and lets the frame breathe, you can feel that old dread, air recirculating, something just out of sight choosing you. It's gorgeously photographed too, wind-scoured exteriors that feel hostile and indifferent. I put screen grabs of half these shots on my walls if I didn't think visitors would ask awkward questions. The other big win is in two performances, Kirsch and Morrow. Kirsch moves like he's already costed out every outcome, voice calm enough to make a bomb stop ticking. Morrow is corporate hardware with a human kernel still flickering. He's loyal until he isn't, and you can see the exact frame where the math no longer works. Put those two in a room and the show's IQ jumps 10 points. They're the kind of professionals this universe needs. Cautious, procedural, allergic to nonsense, which is probably why the plot keeps handcuffing there. Then we have Wendy. Now, I don't like throwing the term Mary Sue around. It's become a bit of a lazy insult, but the writing absolutely tilts for her. Doors open, opposition softens, and clever people become curiously pliant when she's nearby. It's not that she can't be extraordinary, Ripley is, and that's the point. It's that the show often announces her brilliance rather than demonstrating it under pressure. Pair that with the so-called boy genius who oscillates between indispensable prodigy and walking unforced error, and you get a mid-season stretch where smart characters make silly decisions because the plot said they must. If Alien was crew expendable, then this show can feel like logic expendable. And look, I can forgive a little contrivance. Television isn't a laboratory, but the cumulative effect is death by 1,000 shortcuts. Security protocols are ironclad until a scene needs an unlocked door. People who've survived months in a meat grinder suddenly split up for a heartfelt chat beside a vent. The writing keeps treating common sense as optional. In Scott's film, one poor choice can kill you. Here it's more like, don't worry, darling, the plot will catch you. That undercuts stakes, and in this universe, stakes are the whole meal. Now the creature business. I adore what the show does with the Ocellus. That parasitic eyeball intelligence is vile in exactly the right way. It's patient, calculating, intimate. The moment it relocates behind an eye socket to puppet a body, that's the good stuff, body horror with a plan. It feels new without breaking the cosmology. If only the season had built around that slow, invasive menace. But the xenomorph, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. We domesticate it. By the finale, Wendy can command both an adult and a juvenile, posturing them like guard dogs, setting watches, standing them down. If you pitch me that in a writer's room, fine, blasphemous power can be thrilling if it costs. Make it unreliable, make it bloody, make the creature pretend to obey because it's learning you. On screen though, it reads like obedience. The blocking doesn't imply constant risk, it implies compliance. And the second the Xeno becomes a reliable tool, it stops being a terror and becomes set dressing. It's the difference between Alien's air duct roulette and someone say, heal. That choice bleeds into the finale. It's kinetic and idea-rich. Wendy and her lost boys seize the island, flip the hierarchy and lock up the adults. Boy Cavalier, Dame Sylvia, Atom Ines, Kirsch, Morrow, everyone who once held the clipboard is now behind glass. It's a clever mirror of corporate hubris, children literally repossessing the lab. But because the show took shortcuts all the way here, the victory feels oddly unearned. We're told these kids are strategic savants. We rarely get the process, just the outcome. It's exhilarating in the moment, doors slamming, soldiers disarm, Xenos flanking like cathedral gargoyles, but when the dust settles, you realize you watched a magic trick without the setup. Let's rewind to why Alien and Aliens endure. In Alien, people behave like adults with jobs. They argue about contracts, they follow quarantine until they don't, and when they break procedure, we understand exactly why and pay the price with them. In Aliens, competence is the drama. Hudson's panic, Vasquez's resolve, Hicks stepping up, Ripley weaponizing maternal fury. Survival is earned, inch by inch. Alien Earth often announces competence like a CV bullet point. He's a genius, she's the future. Lovely. But show me. Show me someone solving a problem with materials at hand, under pressure, with consequences for doing it wrong. Show me that hard mechanical satisfaction when a clever plan actually works and the cost when it doesn't. Too often, we jump straight to the effect because the cause would take a page and a half of proper writing. It's not all missed chances. The series gives me images I'll remember. That island, wind like a low growl, a corridor filmed wide enough to make you tiny, a Xeno's dome catching clinical light, Wendy's voice flattening into something not entirely human as she gives an order, the Ocellus migrating like a thought you can't unthink. And whenever Kirsch and Morrow are on screen, the show remembers itself. You can feel systems, protocols, institutional memory. They respect the nightmare, which is the only way to stay alive in this sandbox. So what would fix it? First, let intelligence win or lose scenes instead of convenience. If a door opens, someone earned it with a good plan or a bad compromise. Second, put a price on control. If Wendy can steer a Xeno, make it a ticking clock, neural feedback that burns, a hormonal link that frays, a biological countermove waiting to spring. Make us fear the obedience. Third, fewer pieces on the board. When everyone's special, no one is. Let the show orbit the characters who raise its temperature. Again, please, more Kirsha Morrow. And yes, make Wendy earn the crown we've already placed on her head. Finally, dedicate actual screen time to process. Let us watch a plan build so that the payoff lands with weight rather than wobbly spectacle. Where does that leave season 1? For me, gorgeous and frustrating. It begins like a hymn to everything I love about this universe and ends like a TED talk about control, where the Q&A got out of hand. I can't help but admire the ambition. The show is never small-minded, never lazy with its world. But in a franchise where the monster is pure evolutionary purpose, telling me it's housebroken without showing me the trap under the treat, that's a betrayal of the magic trick. Will I watch season 2? Absolutely. I want to see Yutani roll in with budget and brutality. I want to see the Ocellus think in centuries while humans think in hours. I want to see Wendy pay for the throne she took, if she keeps it at all. And I want the Xenomorph to stop playing security guard and remember that it is not a symbol, not a pet, a hunger with a brain. Give me that. Give me plans that feel like they were engineered from parts in the room, and I'll follow you anywhere. Until then, Alien Earth is the best-looking cautionary tale of television, proof that design can build a world, but only discipline can keep the nightmare honest. And this universe, my beloved, nasty little universe, works best when it's honest enough to scare you. If you loved it, tell me why. If you bounced, tell me when. See you down in the comments. I'll be clutching my plush face hugger and hoping the next season remembers the first rule of survival. No one controls the monster for free.
Now be gone, puny human, for there is evil to be done.